box has arrived. This one's not from the jungle site. Whoa! This one's from Fleabay. Chris, you already know what's inside. It's a DeWalt. It's a DeWalt. My preferred for this tool. Yes, a DeWalt. This is the 20 volt lithium ion 4.5-inch grinder kit. Tool only. It is the DCG412B. Let's take it out of the box. So this is my second right angle grinder. I have an 18 volt version. I haven't seen it in 3 years. Because somebody borrowed it, and it doesn't very promptly come back. Or if it does come back, sometimes it comes back broke. So you get all your standard items. You get a destruction manual. Get an Allen key. And you get the tool itself. Ah. And a grinding wheel. That's nice. So as I was referring, sometimes my DeWalt tools come back broke. And the latest victim, unfortunately, it's not a grinder. It's a reciprocating saw. So, it's in 2 pieces. And the brushes are broke. And the wires are burnt. And you can't just put it back together because there's nothing to put it back together with. All those screw bosses are broke because it was dropped. So, eventually I'll have to buy another one. It'll be a 20 volt. This was an 18 volt job. So, you're all familiar. Anybody with DeWalt is familiar with the 18 volt jobs. So all the screw bosses are broke. And one of the brushes got ripped out. So the wire to the brush is broke. So, it's seen better days. It had a hard life. As in, it hit the concrete one too many times. And it tried to set itself on fire. So my other right angle grinder was borrowed. It has yet to come back. It's probably disgusting and dirty and scratched up and all that other good stuff. So we put the little gold handle on it. And like any other grinder, it has a spindle lock. So you push the lock. And you can unscrew the grinding wheel adapter. And if you didn't know how to properly install a grinding wheel, there's 2 ways to install them. Usually, these things usually come out and they got a little boss on them. There's a raised edge that goes right into the hole, and these are this one is supposed to be fixed, but I know on the other older models they can be flipped, and they have a taper. Some of them have a taper too on the opposite on your nut. So one side is bossed, the other side is flat. Usually you put the bosses, if it's a deep hole, like this is a deep hole, so you put the bosses in the hole, and if you got like a cutting wheel, of course the bosses won't fit, or the thing will be all floppy. Then you just flip it over. And then the Allen key is to tighten it up, which is, to me, is kind of odd, because usually you get like a fork thing there. And then you can feel it lock. You feel when the spindle locks, and you just give it a Scotty Kilmer. And like I mentioned, it's the 20 volt version, so I do have 20 volt. This is my second 20 volt tool now, so I buy the generic eBay batteries. These are Vanons. Very good batteries. So these are the slides, and it gives you the little battery thing there, tells you full charge, and it's got the safety lock on it. So you just unlock it and squeeze the trigger. Of course, if you don't already know how to use the grinder, then I don't have to go any further. So I need a grinder so I can sharpen my lawnmower blades, because I haven't sharpened my lawnmower blade in about 3 years. So since the other one is my other child is missing, hasn't come back home yet, I decided to buy another one. So for me, it'll be time to start upgrading all my 18 volt tools to the 20 volt jobs now. So I have one battery for everything instead of having two. The older generation, they like their 18 volt tools. So unfortunately, DeWalt no longer makes the 18 volt batteries unless you can find new old stock. Other than that, everything else is third party, China Pride and stuff like that. It's fine. Just like these things, these batteries, they're decent for what they are. I mean, they take quite a beating. And I had earlier videos of the adapter that I had converted over to a little bit heavier wire. So there was some carnage with that one too. Probably in the DeWalt reciprocating saw that's now broke on the floor. The adapter that I rebuilt actually got melted again, and it completely destroyed the adapter. It's just melted all the little terminals that are on the bottom of the adapter. It melted them all, and it destroyed the battery, as in you can't use it as a power tool battery. So the guts in it are in here, so decent 18650s that I'll find a use for something. And like I mentioned, this is my second 20 volt tool. My very first one is actually my Canon. This is a brushless 20 volt blower. This one is the DCBL 720. Not a powerhouse as in high mile per hour, but it's got a little over 400 cubic feet per minute of output. That's equivalent to my Husqvarna 27cc blower that has a little bit like 450 or 75 cubic feet per minute at 90 miles per hour with the round barrel. This one's got a little bit bigger barrel. I think this one's like maybe 50 miles an hour. But the cubic feet per minute is awesome. I use this occasionally, you know, to blow off the kitchen floor and the living room floor. And I can blow up to 3 inches of completely dry snow out of my 50-foot driveway, blowing it all one direction, which is quite impressive on sometimes one battery. So I was impressed. And then as of recently, I did a little trim job, and I brought my 27cc blower just in case this one didn't have enough gonads to blow out trimming debris. And I raked out most of the heavy stuff, so you always get them little bit of fines and stuff like that. This thing had no problem blowing it out. And the best part is, it was in rock, and it didn't blow the rock out, which is awesome. Blows the crap out, leaves the rock in place, which is real hard to do with a gas blower. I mean, unless you got the finesse. But enough of that. Baloney talk, because we were talking about the grinder. So, if you don't already know, these things have a variety of different wheels you can put on there. You got different kinds of grinding wheels and cutting wheels, and wheels for masonry, wheels for tile, flapper discs. So basically you do shopping for 4.5-inch angle grinders, and you go to town with them. So I got flapper discs for this. I got a couple of cutting discs, and a couple of course, a couple of wheels. So basically, really the only thing I use this for is for sharpening lawnmower blades. So I'll be doing that in the near future for one blade. It hasn't been sharpened in 3 years. It's due. So I'll probably have a few more tools in the distant future of stuff that I, replace. Like eventually I'll have to replace this with the modern version. And the modern version is the ain't like this anymore. It's different. They do make a 20-volt version of this, but it's just a different. It's still got the weak point in here. So the new ones, the better ones, the motor is angled to the gear case, so I think that's a little stronger. But you're dealing with plastic, so if you drop it off a decent distance, it's gonna break. I've had a couple of, I think 2 other drills that came back broke. A 12-volt drill, the handle was broken in half, and of course that was garbage. And then another 18-volt hammer drill was one of them slimmer ones. That came back with a bad clutch, I think, in it, or a bad chuck. I think the chuck went bad. Or maybe the brushes finally gave out or burned out or whatever. It came back. It's dead. So, when you use them hard and use them rough, they're only going to last so long. So, that's it for the DeWalt 20-volt DCG 412B or whatever it was, 4.5-inch angle grinder. So, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like and comment and all the other good stuff. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.